Elena didn't know that she hadn't come that day just to have her bridal makeup done. When the door opened and the soldiers entered, they pointed at her from across the room. No one knew why, but she didn't look away, because even on a wedding day, her past had finally caught up with her. The soldiers knew who she was, or rather, who she used to be. A piece of information in an envelope could change the entire country under. The crystal chandeliers of Elena Vasquez worked with unusual precision. Her hands moved with a steadiness that seemed almost mechanical as she applied makeup to the bride. There was something captivating about her. "She's incredibly talented," whispered the wedding organizer, Sarah Wellington. Watching Elena work, Elena's dark eyes reflected an intensity that didn't match her gentle smile. When she reached for her makeup kit, her movements were too quick, too calculated. But all anyone saw was a stunning woman, with perfect technique, working quietly in the corner. "Elena, darling," said Sarah, unable to hide the fake warmth in her voice, "today's bride is a bit sensitive. Please be gentle with her. You know, these rich girls get stressed very easily." Elena nodded as she took out her perfectly organized brushes from her makeup kit. That familiar, understanding smile on her face never changed. Her lips were naturally pink, and when she smiled, the dimple that appeared gave her face a charming expression. "Of course, Sarah. Just like always," said Elena, her voice soft as velvet. Her way of speaking was educated, accentless, perfect English. The bride, Victoria Ashford, was 24 years old, the daughter of a billionaire businessman. Upon seeing Elena, she immediately looked her up and down, as if thinking that because she was paying Elena should serve her. "Are you that famous makeup artist?" asked Victoria, with obvious disappointment in her voice. "I thought you'd be older, more professional." Elena smiled. She had received this reaction hundreds of times before. Her beauty always stood as an obstacle to being perceived as a serious professional. "Yes, I'm Elena Vasquez. I'm going to make you look your most beautiful today." Victoria's bridesmaid, arrogant Stephanie, interjected, "I hope looking so beautiful doesn't interfere with your work. We have a serious wedding, not a fashion shoot." Elena's hand paused for a moment, then picked up the brush again. The expression on her face didn't change at all, but for a moment, a different light flashed in her eyes. "Don't worry, I know my job very well. I'm sure you do, but have you ever been married? Do you have children? I mean, do you have real-life experience?" She stilled working and answered, "No, I'm not married." "Ah, I see," Victoria continued. "So you just live in the beauty world. You have no idea about real responsibilities, real challenges." The stability in Elena's hands came from years of experience gained on the battlefield. But Victoria and Stephanie didn't know this. They only saw a beautiful woman. "What I mean is," said Stephanie, "how many hours a day do you spend looking in the mirror?" 5, 6. "In the real world, people work, Elena. They do real jobs." Elena stopped while applying eyeshadow to Victoria's eyelid. For a second, a different light flashed in her eyes. Victoria would never know how these hands stayed so calm. Because these hands had disarmed bomb traps. These eyes had spotted enemy snipers. This mind had made life or death decisions. For a second, a different light flashed in her eyes. Then she put on that familiar smile again. But at that moment, completely different images were appearing in Elena's mind. In war, in 2019, 3 soldiers trapped inside a burning vehicle. Elena had risked her own life to save them. In war, in 2020, during an IED explosion, Elena's quick thinking had saved her entire team. As the wedding preparations continued, everyone around Elena treated her the same way. The chef, coming out of the kitchen, asked, "Sweetheart, it's hot in the kitchen. Your makeup won't run, will it?" The photographer, while setting up his professional equipment, came to Elena. "Elena, since you're so beautiful, you're attracting too much attention next to the bride. Could you stay back a bit?" he said. Elena smiled every time, nodded, and continued her work. The expression on her face never changed. But inside, different memories were coming to life. In war, in 2021, thanks to the operation Elena led, 20 civilians had been saved. At that time, no one had discussed her beauty. But among the staff, young waiter Miguel Rodriguez treated Elena differently. He was carefully watching Elena's every move. Miguel's eyes noticed the stability of Elena's hands, the attention in her posture, the way she observed her surroundings. "Excuse me, ma'am," said Miguel, as he approached Elena. Are you Elena Vasquez?" Elena put down her makeup brush and looked at Miguel. For the first time that day, a noticeable expression appeared on her face. "Yes, Miguel's voice lowered. Vasquez, that name sounds familiar. Have you ever been in the military? Elena's hand stopped for a moment. Then she turned to Miguel, and for the first time that day, a real expression appeared on her face. The soft sparkle in her eyes transformed into a sharper, more attentive look. Why would you ask such a thing? Because I'm a veteran too, said Miguel in a low voice. I served in war. Between 2018-2020. And the name, Elena Vasquez. This name was very famous there. Bomb expert Elena Vasquez. But that Elena Vasquez, he stopped, looking Elena up and down. That Elena Vasquez served in special forces. Legends were told about her. When Elena heard Miguel's words, all the muscles in her body tensed. The identity she had been hiding for years was beginning to emerge. But just then, the main door of the wedding hall opened. 3 men entered. 2 in dark tactical jackets. 1, tall and scarred, clearly their superior. Elena looked up and froze. Good evening, said the tall man. We're looking for someone, Elena Vasquez. A hush spread through the hall. Confused faces. Victoria raised an eyebrow. Sarah Wellington stepped forward, trying to keep the situation calm. Is there a problem? Elena is one of our beauty consultants. The officer interrupted gently, but firmly. We just need to speak with her. Privately. It's a time-sensitive matter. Victoria chuckled, half nervous. She's literally in the middle of doing the bride's makeup. Can't this wait an hour? The officer didn't flinch. I'm afraid it can't. Orders are strict. We need to take her now. People started whispering. Someone at a table leaned in. Is she in trouble? Did she do something? Elena stood still, not resisting, not explaining. Sarah turned to the officer again. Can you at least tell us what this is about? The man shook his head. That information is classified. The murmurs grew louder. Some guests stood to get a better view. A bridesmaid whispered, Oh my God, is she like CIA or something? Someone else. I knew she was too calm for a makeup artist. The officer turned to Elena softly. Miss Vasquez, please. She gave one last look at the bride, then nodded, quiet, composed. Sarah bit her lip, uneasy, but unwilling to back down. Captain Martinez stepped closer. This is not a social visit. Miss Vasquez is required to come with us, immediately. A bridesmaid whispered loudly enough to be heard. Why does a makeup artist need military escorts? The officer's gaze hardened. You'd be surprised how dangerous beauty can be. She put the makeup brush on the table and took a deep breath. She walked toward the exit, as every eye in the room watched in silent disbelief. Then, in front of everyone's eyes, she pulled her hair back and removed that soft expression from her face. Behind the venue, in a small, dimly lit room, Elena met with Captain Martinez. He handed her a sealed envelope. Our target is inside the venue, armed and dangerous. Our intel was off. The operation is compromised. Elena nodded without a word. She opened her makeup kit, lifting a false bottom, a pistol, disarming tools, and a communication device lay hidden beneath the cosmetics. Her hands moved quickly. Practiced years of training, showing in every motion, removed her earrings and loosened her hair. She wiped her face, revealing a faint scar tracing her cheekbone. Her eyes, once soft, sharpened. Outside, muffled sounds of guests continued, unaware of the battle about to unfold. Suddenly, a door slammed open. 3 armed men burst inside, faces masked and guns drawn. Chaos erupted. Elena's training took over. She moved like a shadow. 2 quick shots, a precise roll, and a stun grenade tossed with perfect timing. The men faltered before anyone could react. Elena neutralized the threat. Guests screamed and ducked behind tables. Victoria's face paled. Stephanie gasped. I knew it. She's not just a makeup artist. Sarah whispered, who is she really? Elena, standing tall, caught her breath. Her eyes swept the room. Fierce, determined. Captain Martinez approached. Mission update. Secondary threat, incoming. Civilians are to be evacuated. Elena nodded. Her expression was resolute. 2 more armed men burst into the room, weapons drawn. At the stake. But Elena moved like a ghost, striking faster than they could react. There was gunfire. A flashbang went off. The threat was neutralized in seconds. But that was only the beginning. Who is Elena Vasquez, really? A simple makeup artist, or something far more dangerous and deadly? The answer lies beneath the surface, and the truth will change everything. The delicate mask she had worn all evening vanished in an instant. Miguel, clear the hall. Civilians must be safe. Now. Her voice was sharp, unwavering. Miguel, the officer at her side, gave a crisp military salute. Yes, ma'am. Victoria's eyes widened in disbelief. Are you really a soldier? Elena turned slowly, fixing Victoria with a steely look. Yes, Victoria. For the last 10 years, I've served in this country's most dangerous war. She lifted her sleeve to reveal a thin, faded scar tracing her forearm. I've defused bombs, crossed enemy lines, saved lives. The guests began to stir, whispers growing louder, but all eyes were on Elena now. The woman who had been hiding in plain sight. Elena recalled her past memories with this incident. An explosion rocks the desert convoy. Flames lick the sides of a burning vehicle. Elena's voice echoes softly. During an IED attack in the war in 2019, my team was trapped inside that burning vehicle. I came back 3 times, under heavy fire. During the last rescue, a piece of shrapnel tore through my face. That day when I saved my friends, I felt like a hero, but also questioned the life I had lived, knowing that nothing would ever be the same. Again flashing back to the present, Elena gently touches the scar hidden under her makeup. Captain Martinez approached briskly. The operation's been compromised. The target is armed and inside the venue. We need you on the front line. Elena's hands moved with practiced precision as she opened her makeup case. Under the false bottom lay a compact camouflaged pistol, a tactical knife, a communications earpiece, and a small bomb disposal toolkit. She checked her pistol methodically. Sarah, watching in stunned silence, whispered, "You're really—" Elena gave a small, grim smile. "Yes, Sarah, this is my real job." Suddenly, the main hall doors slammed open. 3 more masked men burst in, their weapons raised, their faces hidden by dark hoods. The crowd screamed, scattering for cover. Elena's body tensed, every muscle ready for battle in a heartbeat. She drew her pistol and fired 2 accurate more shots. One enemy went down instantly. She rolled to one side, pulled out a flashbang, and skillfully threw it at the group of attackers. The explosion of light and sound took the intruders by surprise. Elena moved like a shadow, quick, silent, deadly. She engaged the nearest attacker hand to hand, using a series of accurate strikes and a masterful disarming maneuver. The fight intensified. One assailant lunged with a knife. Elena sidestepped, twisting his arm until the blade clattered to the floor. Her eyes never lost focus. She pulled a wire cutter from her belt and quickly disabled the second attacker's communication device. Gunfire echoed again. Elena returned fire, dropping the last opponent with a clean single shot. The entire confrontation lasted less than 5 minutes. The room fell eerily silent. Guests were frozen in shock, catching their breath. Victoria's face paled, a mixture of fear and awe. Stephanie gasped. "I never thought." Sarah, trembling slightly, whispered, "She's more than any of us imagined." Elena holstered her weapon, breathing steadily but alert. As the team moved into position, Elena's voice cut through the comms. "This ends tonight. No mistakes." The target appeared, a shadowy figure escaping through the back exit. Elena sprinted, heart pounding. Shots rang out. She ducked behind cover, returned fire. The chase was fierce. Finally, cornered in a narrow alley, the target turned, gun raised. Elena didn't hesitate. A single shot. Silence. Back at the hall. The sun was rising. The guests gathered, still shaken but safe. Victoria approached Elena, tears in her eyes. "I was wrong about you. You're incredible." Elena smiled softly. "Thank you. But this isn't about me. It's about the choices we make, who we are inside." Later, as Elena reapplied her makeup, transforming back into the gentle artist, Sarah watched quietly. "Why do you keep doing both?" Elena paused, brush in hand. "Because strength isn't just about fighting battles. Sometimes, it's about showing people their own beauty and giving them hope." The day ended not with fireworks, but with quiet respect. Elena Vasquez, soldier and artist, had shown everyone that true power lies in embracing all parts of yourself. Everything was over. The chaos, the mission, the mask she wore to blend in. But as Elena stood in the quiet aftermath, she realized something undeniable. No matter how far she tried to run from her past, she could never truly escape it. There was a fire inside her. It had always been there, and though she'd tried to silence it with powder and brushes, the battlefield still whispered her name. People needed her, and somewhere deep down, she needed them too. A new offer had arrived, a position to lead an elite special forces unit. She hadn't accepted, not yet, but the thought lingered, because this quiet beauty was just as dangerous as she was graceful. And when she finally listened to the voice, inside her she returned. Back to the field. Back to the mission. She was still young, and there were lives left to save. Thank you for listening to Elena's story. What part moved you the most? Let us know in the comments. Where in the world are you watching from today? We'd love to know. And don't forget to subscribe to Quiet Tales Studio. Every story reveals a truth deeper than what you see. Until next time.